From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
I'm Jonathan Amberian in Helena. I'll give you an update on the state of Montana's program to make sure all schools are testing their water for lead. And I'll let you know how the Helena Public Schools are taking care of lead concerns on their own campuses.
And Montana's governor takes sides on the truckers in their dispute with Canada's COVID vaccination rules, what Governor Greg Gianforte is calling on both Canada and the U.S. to do, coming up at 6:39. Well, happy Thursday, Southwest Montana. Just ahead of 6:32. Chet Lehman, Matt Elwell with you here. Kind of a brisk morning out there, but for the last couple of days, no snow falling.
No, unlike the last few days, we're actually dealing with fighting chance of getting to work on time. You and I haven't had to worry about that. But temperatures are chilly this morning, and so there are some icy roads that maybe that snow got packed down and driven on throughout the day. Those areas are still there. Temperatures into the teens this morning, but most of the more well-traveled roads doing just fine. There is another chance of some snow. It looks like the Bridgers may pick up some snow, as well as the Madison-Gallatin ranges as you head into the afternoon. I think there may be some snow in a few valley locations, but we're not talking any type of accumulation that's of note. Daytime highs into the mid-30s, a little breezy. You want to bundle up on the way out the door. We'll talk about the big cool down on the way coming up here in about 12 minutes.
Right, thank you, Matt. 6:32 now. Hundreds of schools across Montana have submitted water samples as the state builds a record of lead levels. Dan's Jonathan Amberian looks at what the data is showing and how some schools are already working to lower their lead exposure.
2 years ago, the state of Montana instituted a new rule, laying out a procedure for all schools in the state to make sure their water systems are being tested for lead. Now, the results of those samples are starting to come in, and here at Warren School in the Helena Valley, Helena Public Schools has already taken steps to address what they saw in their samples.
We'll do whatever is necessary by the requirements of the DEQ and any other regulatory agency to make sure that we are in compliance.
The rule came from the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services, and the Department of Environmental Quality is helping schools implement it.
We have grant funding to pay for all the sample analysis, and then also help them with, when they do get their data back, what those remediation options are, and then also help, if we can find funding to help them with those costs.
They're required to get water samples from every drinking fountain, sinks used for food preparation, and other fixtures. Each water sample is tested. If it contains lead concentrations of less than 5 parts per billion, no action needs to be taken. If it has between 5 and 15 parts per billion, the fixture needs to be repaired or replaced, but can remain in service if it's flushed regularly. If the lead concentration is higher than 15 parts per billion, the school has to immediately remove the fixture from service. So far, an estimated 20% of fixtures sampled have needed repairs, and another 9% have had to be immediately shut off. The deadline for schools to test their fixtures was the end of 2021, but because of the pandemic, DPHHS is being more flexible and working with schools. 266 schools have already submitted samples, and 300 more are in the process. In Helena, 5 schools have been sampled so far. The highest lead concentrations were found at Warren and Rossiter Elementary. Neil Murray, the district's safety and operations manager, believes that's due to their age and the fact they have their own wells, so they're not benefiting from the city of Helena's filtering system. After the results came in, the district brought in bottled water.
That was first and foremost, wanted to make sure we had clean water here.
They then installed water filters on the faucets and finally replaced the old fixtures with new ones. Now, Murray says the sampling has shown marked improvement. Helena Public Schools plans to do sampling at 5 more campuses over the next 2 weeks. In the Helena Valley, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
6:35 on the national scene. Several more states say they plan to lift mask mandates in schools in the coming weeks. For some, it's a relief. For others, it will likely be stressful. The CDC says it's still too soon, and many medical experts agree. Asher Karashi looks at what lifting mandates could mean for the districts and the potential legal ramifications.
While infection rates are dropping across the U.S., nearly 99% of counties are still reporting high community transmission.
In my opinion, it is not driven by the data. Right now, these decisions seem to be much more political, much more based on feelings.
A report from Arizona revealed that schools in 2 of the state's most populous counties were 3.5 times more likely to have COVID-19 outbreaks without a mask requirement as compared to schools that required masking from day one.
when Delta was surging and some places in the Southeast went back without masks, we saw outbreaks. So I think we can expect to see the same thing right now.
Another report found that during the first 2 weeks of school, the average change in pediatric COVID-19 case rates was more than 50% less in counties with school mask requirements compared to counties without them.
This one goes over here.
For now, the CDC guidance has not changed. The agency continues to endorse universal masking indoors for students, staff, and teachers, regardless of vaccination status.
Masks do help. The myth that they don't work is not based on any data.
Still, officials in a growing number of states, including Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and Oregon, announced plans to drop school mandates when they expire in the next few weeks. Others like Nevada and Delaware's have already expired. In California and Illinois, mandates for indoor masking are being lifted, but they're still required in schools. Though a judge in Illinois has overturned the governor's mandate, which means the issue will be decided in the courts.
The state is appealing it. But it's temporary, and everyone also realizes that by the time the court actually decides the case, the matter will be long gone anyway.
In Iowa, the governor's ban on requiring masks in schools was overturned after the ARC, the largest advocacy group for people with disabilities, and the ACLU filed suit. They successfully argued that not requiring masks in schools violated the Americans with Disabilities Act.
By taking the position that my child is healthy and will likely be fine, so let them go in without a mask, really disregards the health experience of so many others.
While the Omicron surge may be over in some places, if and when another variant of concern emerges, switching back to mandates in schools, say experts, could prove challenging.
If we do this too soon and without certain metrics in place, we're going to find ourselves on a roller coaster of outbreaks and then reintroducing mitigation measures and then rolling them back again.
This is a horse.
And though nobody wants to wear masks forever, the key, say experts, is picking the right moment to abandon them. I'm Usher Qureshi reporting.
Governor Greg Gianforte, Alberta Premier Jason Kenney, and more than a dozen other governors have sent a letter to President Joe Biden and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau asking them to exempt cross-border truckers from vaccine and quarantine requirements. The letter comes after weeks of protests that blocked border crossings and led to Canada evoking emergency powers to address the blockades. Cross-border truckers had been exempt from the mandates until January. Now, in calling for the exemption to be reinstated, the governors and premier cited ongoing supply chain issues, inflation, and workforce shortages in the trucking industry. Well, as Montana's longest-serving senator, Max Baucus has seen a lot of history. For 3 years, he was the U.S. ambassador to China. In a wide-ranging interview, MTN's Donna Kelly sat down with Ambassador Baucus to talk about some pressing issues in the United States and a couple of world events, including the uncertainty and tension over Russia invading Ukraine.
But he's playing mind games with all of us in the West, and he's hoping that in doing so, he'll pressure maybe Germany and other countries to acquiesce a little, pressure Germany to continue to buy that natural gas from Russia, maybe do a deal a little bit with France, and not in a way that just gives him a little more leverage, a little more presence in Europe, and slightly weakens Europe as a power vis-a-vis Russia. My best guess, there's not going to be a military invasion. Maybe a little incursion here and there.
Now, beginning tonight, you can hear more of what Baucus says Russian President Vladimir Putin is trying to do. Plus, we've all been feeling the pinch of inflation. Baucus talks about what happened in the 70s with inflation. Now the Federal Reserve dealt with it. He calls that lesson brutal. You'll also learn what's still on his bucket list. It's a two-part interview, 5:30 and 10 tonight and Friday. Plus, we'll have the full interview available on our website. All right, 6:40, time for a break. When we come back, most minority groups were more hesitant to